It seems that we have another quiet day on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. We are going to talk about today's session with my guest here on the floor. That is Greg Keating, that is Managing Director for James E. Coffey Securities. Greg, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, good to see you again.
So, Greg, tell me about today. It seems that we're going to have another quiet day on the floor.
I think so. I mean, we had limited economic reports coming out of the U.S. We had positive mortgage application activity earlier this morning. Not exactly the catalyst that we were looking for. The market is not positive right now. A lot of that has to do with news out of Europe, or at least the mood out of Europe, with the euro trading below that 127 level.
Yeah, exactly. A movement triggered in part from what Fitch said this morning, actually forecasting a cataclysmic collapse of the euro if the ECB doesn't intervene. It's a very hot topic over there.
Absolutely. I think what's important to note is that what Fitch said is nothing new. It's obviously ECB has to get involved. They are working towards the goal to fix the debt crisis over there. And I think when the market is lower and there's a lack of news, I think a lot of investors or a lot of people look for a catalyst. This is nothing new.
Staying very briefly on Europe, what maybe is more worrisome is the fact that Germany might be on the edge of recession.
Well, Germany has always been the leader over there, and if anytime you see a leader fall or the threat of the fall in their economy, could be a major effect on the downside. I think you have to monitor that closely, along with all news coming out of Europe, because we've seen that European news can really move the markets, and unfortunately for the last year and change, it's been towards the negative side.
You were mentioning economic figures in the United States. We are going to read the beige book from Federal Reserve tonight. We're going to have a clearer view of what's the economy right now. According to some analysts, that after we saw the good job numbers last Friday, it might be that the Federal Reserve for now is not going to act. No QE3. Do you think that in the long term is going to be the case?
Well, I think the beige book coming out earlier will give us a very good insight into what the Fed is thinking is going on in the economy and their thoughts there. So I think with that, we really have to look at what the Fed is looking at. I think with the earnings coming out next week, we really get earnings started, I guess, unofficially this week, but most of the earnings are really roll out next week. I think as traders, that's what you really have to look for.
And do you think it's going to be a catalyst for the market? I mean, we are going to see the first from the financial JP Morgan on Friday releasing the numbers. A sector, of course, it was the worst sector last year. So do you think that this year is going to get better, or it could be really the catalyst for the market? I mean, we can really go down right after the financials?
Right, believe me, I hope so. Nothing I would like more than to see the market run up here. I think what you always have to do is look at the earnings reports. What are they saying? What are they guiding later in the year? It's very important what the outlook is for these financial companies. A lot of the
effect from Europe, I guess, right?
Absolutely, and that's what I was going to say. The uncertainty in Europe, unfortunately, is a major governor on the height that the financials can rise here.
Thank you very much for your insight, Greg Keating. Thank you.
Thank you.